how y'all doing? I'm going to talk to you all today about Dr. Ford's testimony, which I don't 100% believe because I think that it is missing a lot of details and a lot of blanks. I wonder if it could be a case of projection. And I don't know if that's a psychological term, but that is when you try to make someone else who never wanted to be someone else. In other words, a case of mistaken identity because you wanted him to be that other person. I find her story has too many blanks, too many critical details. Now, I don't doubt that something happened. I don't know what happened, but I don't doubt that something did happen. If you go by the premise that she's 15, he's 17, she has a crush on him. He wasn't interested in her. And so now she's mad at him. Okay? She's really mad at him because he just wasn't interested in her. Which you can see why, huh? But anyway. So she goes to this party in a last-ditch effort to get with him. Okay, she gets into a car with presumably a teenager. She doesn't know who the teenager is. She doesn't know what the car was, what color the car was, what kind of car it was. She doesn't know if there were any other teenagers in the car. She gets into a car with the teenager who drives her to the party. Okay, she gets to the house. She does not even know. She claims she doesn't know what the house was, whether the house was across the street from Taco Bell or Madison Avenue or on Route 10 or Route 20. She makes no distinguishing characteristics about the house. Did it have two steeples? Was it brick? Was it wood? Did it have a paved garage? Was it split foyer? Nothing. She just says she went to the house. She doesn't even notice the last two numbers on the house, which I find that hard to believe. That she's at a party and she doesn't even know where she's at. And she doesn't even know whose car she's in. I have a hard time believing that. Or she could be covering up for some person. Okay, so she goes to the party and something happens. Now, it could be in her mind she wanted it to be a Brett. In her mind. Because she doesn't like him anyway, it could have been somebody else. But in her mind, she wants it to be Brett. So something happens. She runs out of the house. Okay? And like I said, it's puzzling that she did not notice distinguishing characteristics about the house. Now, when something traumatic happens, usually the mind starts to record things. He had a red shirt on. It was a red car. He had boots on, etc. Now, I always look at the clocks. I look at the clocks, what time the incident occurred. So I always look at either a clock on the wall or my watch. If something is going to traumatically happen to me, I try to look at the clocks so I can know what is happening to me. Now, I find it odd that she didn't remember anything about the house because since I was 10, I can tell you characteristics of certain houses that we went into visiting. I can tell you pretty much where the houses were. I can tell you that, what type of house it was. I can give you an idea of where it was. Not exactly. But so I find it hard to believe that she cannot give any distinguishing characteristics about the house. Did it have one or two steeples on it? Was it on Route 50? Nothing. Across from Taco Bell? Nothing. Okay, so she gets into a car again, and she claims she does not know who drove her home. She doesn't have any money, so she did not catch a cab. So she claims she does not know who drove her home. I find that hard to believe either. You're going to get into another car, and you don't even know who's driving, who's at the wheel. I find that hard to believe. And so she gets home. She just happened to have her key to the house. She gets home at night and she just happened to have her keys to the house. Isn't that nice? Okay. And I just find it hard to believe that she didn't record anything of the incident in her mind. Where the house was located, distinguishing characteristics about the house. And she gets into a car twice without knowing who it is. So we're to assume that Bo Winkle took her to the car and Cinderella drove her back. And the house was located in Disney World. We're supposed to believe that. Now, the problem is that she doesn't give enough details for us to believe her, and they both could be lying. Now, that would be very devastating if we found out in the next few days that they both were lying. That is such a mockery of everything this country stands for. But it's not unusual to have a person in prominent positions lie, because they do it all the time, don't they? Okay, but I just find her story it just has too many gaps, too many blanks, too many questions. And it could be a case of projection. She wants it to be him, but maybe it wasn't.